bringing old ships to life.
Hello everybody, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines and welcome back to a new video. And welcome back to a long overdue video on the series War Heroes in White. Now the series War Heroes in White is a series where we talk about hospital ships. Now hospital ships of World War I, hospital ships of World War II and even of hospital ships today. We talk about their successes, but also sadly about some of the hospital ships' shipwrecks. Now, we'll talk today about a hospital shipwreck which is sadly a tragic one. She would even be one of the deadliest maritime disasters. The hospital shipwreck we are talking about today is the Soviet hospital ship Armenia. So, of course, before we begin, we shall cover some of her specifics. She would be built for the Soviet Union by the shipbuilders Baltic shipyards in Leningrad. Her class of ship would be the Adzaria class, and she was to be built as an ocean liner. However, her fate was to be different. Now, the Adzaria class ships were designed specifically for use in the Black Sea. They were the first passenger ships to be built in the newly formed Soviet Union. The gross tonnage of the Armenia would be 4.727 gross tons. Her length would be 112 meters, with her beam being 15.5 meters. She could go a speed of 13 knots. The vessel had a capacity of 1,000 tons of cargo and could accommodate up to 550 passengers in first, second and third class accommodations. Now she would have had some sister ships, the first one being the Abkhazia and the second one being the Ukraina, with two more being the Adzaria and the other one being the Atyara. In November 1928, the Armenia was launched and commissioned. After the German invasion of the Soviet Union on 22 June 1941, the Soviet Navy requisitioned the Armenia to serve as a transport and hospital vessel. Now, before we proceed with the story, it's important to note that hospital ships were under the protection of the Hague Convention of 1907. Let's explore some of these rules. The first one being, hospital ships must be painted white. Military hospital ships must have a green band. Ships operated by approved relief societies and similar must have a red band. The second one being, ships must fly a Red Cross flag in addition to their national flag. The third one being, the ship should give medical assistance to wounded personnel of all nationalities. The fourth one being, the ship must not be used for any military purpose or interfere with or hamper enemy combat vessels. The fifth, belligerents as designed by the Hague Convention can search any hospital ship to investigate violations of the above restrictions. And finally the sixth, belligerents will establish the location of a hospital ship. Sadly, some hospital ships would not survive, with the HMHS Britannic being the most well-known example. However, there were many other ships that met the same fate. But let us now return to the story of the Armenia. Amongst chaos on the night of 6 and the early morning of 7 November 1941, Armenia took on thousands of passengers at Sevastopol. Despite the city enduring a German siege for 9 months, at the time a takeover by the enemy seemed to be imminent. In addition to the wounded, entire Soviet hospital staffs, civilian officials and their families were brought on board and taken to the town of Tuapse, 400 kilometers on the northeast coast of the Black Sea. The ship would be under command of Captain Vladimir Plaushevsky after leaving port in the early morning hours of the 7th. The captain was instructed to stop at Yalta, located a few kilometers east of Sevastopol. The already crowded ship had to take on more passengers. Without registering them, wounded soldiers and civilians were simply crammed onto the decks. Plaushevsky was eager to set sail, while there was still darkness for cover. Yet he was ordered to wait for escorts. At 7 a.m., Armenia finally left Yalta, accompanied by 2 armed boats and 2 fighter planes. Nevertheless, the Black Sea was fraught with peril. During World War II, the Germans and their allies in Romania and Italy had only a few service vessels in the Black Sea, leaving it largely under Soviet control at the start of the war. The Axis had full air dominance and sank over 100 Soviet merchant ships, along with dozens of naval vessels. Only the most heavily armed and escorted ships could travel in daylight, with reasonable hope of safety. Ships caught alone or in port in the western part of the Black Sea were very likely to be attacked. Sadly, Armenia's status as a hospital ship was jeopardized. Though her sides and top were painted with large Red Cross symbols, she had light anti-aircraft armament and had previously transported troops and military stores, and on the morning of 7 November was traveling with military escort, inadequate though it was. At 11:30, roughly 40 kilometers from Yalta, Armenia was struck by a Heinkel He-111 medium bomber. 2 torpedoes were dropped, one missing the target but the other one hit directly, causing the ship to split in 2 and sink within 4 minutes. The sight of the large vessel sinking in just 4 minutes was a horrifying sight, with only 8 out of the thousands of passengers surviving the tragedy. So at the end, even by the lowest estimate of about 5,000 dead, the sinking of the Armenia remains the deadliest maritime disaster in Russian and Soviet history. And that is the end of a video. Did you guys enjoy it? I certainly loved making it. The sinking of the Armenia is a quite tragic one. Just imagine, 4 minutes to sink. That must have been a horrifying sight. I quickly want to thank all the new people who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you all very much. It still blows my mind away how many of you guys actually watch and enjoy my content. That really means a lot to me. You guys have no idea. If you have any friends who like ocean liners or ships, please show them my channel. That would help out the channel a lot. If you have any thoughts or comments on this video, please leave them in the description down below. I absolutely love reading your guys' comments. So yeah, again, if you have any thoughts or comments on this video, please leave them in the description down below. So, with that out of the way, guys, I wish you all a good night or day wherever you are, and we will see each other on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Follow Old Shipping Lines on social media.
Thanks for watching.